Hello class. So today let's start with air pollution. We have seen industrial growth is there, development is happening, but because of that there are some side effects also, and that is named as pollution and degradation of land, degradation of environment. So now let's see which are those pollution and how are they affecting our environment. Okay, so first point, air pollution. Air pollution is caused by the presence of a higher proportion of undesirable gases like carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide. Airborne materials consist of both solid and liquid particles. Dust, fumes, mist, spray, and smoke contain both types of particles. Human-made sources of pollutants are normally industrial and solid waste. That means when there is presence of higher proportion of undesirable gases, namely carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide, when it is there in our air, it is going to cause problem for people in breathing, creating pollution in the air. Degradation of environment is happening. Birds, animals, they are also living beings, they are also living in this world. There are animals and birds, those who cannot live in the situation when there is such high pollution. And it is this carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide, both in solid and liquid particles are also there. Airborne materials are consisting of this both solid and liquid particles. The dust, the smoke, whatever is there outside our house or outside our home, they are having all types of particles, airborne materials, and where poisonous gas also sometimes just enters into the air, which is coming from some industries, and there have been so many incidences where the poisonous gas have burst out of the industries, and so many people, so many residences who are living near to the industries have lost their life. So air pollution is also very bad, is degrading the environment. You can see the picture, how from industries and all the smoke is coming out. It's of course going to pollute the air. Here is a small picture which is showing that how the pollution, how they are going and mixing up with the clouds and air, because of which lots and lots of problem. No proper air, no proper water, no proper rain is reaching to earth because of the pollution. The industrial waste, they throw it in the water. The river get polluted. The fish over there dies. The people who consume the water, the village people and all, they also get diseases because of this pollution and waste. Next is water pollution. Industrial effluents are discharged into the rivers. Organic and inorganic materials pollute the water. That means chemical industries are there where the things are smelting, manufactured, any kind of work is happening. Whatever industrial effluents are there, they are discharged into the rivers. And the organic and inorganic materials, they pollute the water. Because water means that does not want to be added with any kind of polluted organisms or materials. But what the industries do, they throw their pipelines are connected from their industries towards the water where the waste can directly go. But that is not at all good for the water bodies and not for those people also who are going to consume the water from that same river. Some common pollutants of water are coal, dyes, soaps, pesticides, fertilizers, plastic and rubber. These are the common pollutants of water. Rubber and plastic and all, it does not get dissolved anywhere. It stays still wherever it is. So it is polluting the water. Principal industries that create water pollution are paper, textiles, chemical, petroleum, refining, tannery and electroplating. These are also some of the principal industries that are creating water pollution. Industrial waste containing toxic materials pollute land and water. Both land and water get polluted because of the industrial waste which is containing toxic materials. Next is noise pollution. Arises primarily from industry and means of transport. Industry is the sound of industry, is the sound of siren, the sound of machine working. And when the transportation is happening, the horns, the vehicles, their sound, that is also very much creating noise pollution. Because the sound, whenever there is a traffic, people keep on horning the other vehicle in the front. They don't think also that there may be no space over there. That's why he's standing. Otherwise, why he should stand there, right? But not listening, not thinking, they are just making noise pollution. And the sound from the industries where they are manufacturing heavy industries and the working of the machines, the sirens and all, they are also creating lots and lots of noise pollution caused by industrial noise, mechanical saws and pneumatic drills. And the effects are unbearable noise and is a nuisance to the public and causes impairment of hearing. And if we are living near to a place where there is constant noise pollution, we will always get a problem of impairment of hearing. Our hearing capacity can get damaged. Our ear can get damaged if we are living near to an area where there are industries or lots of means of transportation is there, and we are always exposed to lot of noise, then we can have the problem of impairment of hearing. Measures to control environment degradation. Now there are measures to control environmental degradation. What are they? Pollution can be prevented. How pollution can be prevented? They can be prevented by carefully planning of industries, sitting, that means the location of industries, better design equipments, better operation of equipments. That means we can bring some type of technology, we can bring some type of design equipment which is not going to throw out lots and lots of pollution, which is not going to throw out lots and lots of solid or liquid waste into the water, which is not going to produce any kind of much noise which is going to harm the people, right? So we have to try to see that the location of industries are a bit far away from the residential area and they don't throw out lots and lots of pollution. And if there is any waste coming from the industries, try to reuse that waste for any other kind of material, which can help in the control of environmental degradation. Next, measures to control environmental degradation also goes as major means of controlling air pollution. Now, what are the major means of controlling air pollution are? Fuel selection and utilization. Selecting those type of fuels which don't give lot of pollution, and the utilization should also be in a proper manner. Smoke may be prevented by use of oil instead of coal in industries. If we use oil instead of coal, the smoke which is coming out can be prevented. Using of equipments that can control aerosol emissions. Use inertial separators, filters and precipitators and scrubbers. That means using some kind of filters, using some kind of separators, using some type of scrubbers which can change the whatever the waste is coming or whatever the airborne materials are coming, changing it into such a substance which is not going to create much pollution after going out, which will not create any kind of harmful things in the environment. So that type of equipments and that type of separators and filters should be used, which is helping in the development of economy also. On the same way, sustainable development is happening without creating any kind of degradation in environment. Measures to control environmental degradation in the ways of water pollution. How can we control water pollution in industries is treatment of waste before discharging into rivers. In your textbook, when the chapter is coming, in that the second last page, there is a paragraph where they are telling that which are the 3 phases, that is noted down here in the slide also. The same thing is there in your textbook, that when the industries are throwing the waste into the water, into the river, before that some kind of treatment should be done to the waste, so so that after going into the water or after mixing into the water also, nobody, not a single living thing should get affected by that waste. And that can be done in three phases. That is primary treatment by mechanical process, secondary treatment by biological process, and tertiary treatment by biological, chemical, and physical process. That means from the waste, as much as those things, those material which is going to harm the living beings has to be removed by mechanical, biological, chemical, and physical process. And those waste can be discharged which is not creating any type of harmfulness to the living things. This type of process can be done by the industries so that the harmful minerals or harmful materials are removed from the waste, and only those waste which is not going to harm anybody can be discharged into the rivers. Treatment of pollutants by industries. Earlier, as we have seen, primary treatment that includes screening, grinding, population, and sedimentation. This can be the four treatment which can be given to the waste. Primary by giving the mechanical process. Secondary treatment of water pollution. Secondary treatment involves use of biological method, any kind of biological method which will remove the waste which is going to harm the water and living things, removing that. And tertiary treatment which includes recycling of the waste water. Whatever the waste is going in the water or whatever the waste water is going, try to recycle it and see to it that there is no type of harmful materials in the water present. Next is control of soil and land pollution, collection of waste from different places, dumping and disposing the waste by landfilling, recycling of the waste for further use. That means how we can control the soil and land pollution. Whatever the waste we get, let us collect all the waste from different places and dump at one place and try to dispose it there by doing kind of land filling, and also try to recycle the waste and try to find that can that waste be used for further purpose or for further use, trying to recycle it and use it again. If we are doing so, our resources are also maintained, they are conserved. We can also control the soil and land pollution which can happen because of the dumping of waste in one place for more and more than years and keep going on dumping it at different places. That should not happen. If that is happening, the soil and the land pollution is going to affect, right? So with this, we are summing up the chapter, and I believe you understood the chapter properly about manufacturing industries. We have learned that how manufacturing industries, first from the industrial revolution, from Europe it has started, slowly it widespread all over the world. We have seen the classification of industries, that how they are classified in the basis of materials, on the basis of raw materials, on the basis of capital. Then we have learned about private sector, public sector, the joint sector, cooperative sector. Then also we have seen about different industries, how they are making different products. We have learned about the pollutions. We have learned about the environmental degradation which is happening because of the industrial revolution or manufacturing industries. Then we have seen different types of industries which are helping in development. We have learned about the different transport system, like airways is there, ship is there, road vehicles is there, railways are there, where they are trying to see that transportation is also done properly so that there is proper development in the economy. We have seen different industries which are helping in manufacturing industries, used as a raw material, helping to make it as a finished products. We have seen different chemicals like organic and inorganic chemicals. We have also learned about how the smelting of copper and aluminium takes place. We have also learned about how India produces different types of minerals or different types of metals like steel, copper, aluminium. We have also learned about different kind of industries which are coming from agro-based industries where agricultural is used as a raw materials, that is agro-based and mineral-based. We have learned agro-based where only agriculture-related raw materials are coming. Then we have seen mineral-based where mineral-related raw materials are coming. We have learned about different kinds of silk industries. We have learned about the problems which are faced by the cotton industries, the woolen industries, the silk industries. We have learned about main markets which are available for different products in our country. We have also learned about different characteristics of different industries, and all these together are giving development to our country. All these together, any type of industries, whether it is based on labor, whether it is based on ownership, whether it is based on source of raw material, whether on raw material, all these together are helping for the development. We have also seen some factors which are contributing to the location of industries, how we can decide that where the industry should be located. There are different factors like human factors are there, like transport, cheap labors, then government policies, then capital. All these are coming under human factors which is deciding the location of industries. We have seen physical factors like climate is there, water is there, power resources is there, raw material is there. All these things together are deciding where the industries has to be located. We have, from the beginning, we have seen how the industrial revolution started and how manufacturing industries came into existence for employment for lots and lots of people. And that's it. I believe you understood the chapter of manufacturing industries. Right? Thank you.